soap is to be a complicated drop swirl, I'm going to make it in an 18-bar Brambleberry mold with a silicone liner, and I'm going to pour a white base to it, and then I'm going to pour several shades of green, kind of a standard drop swirl pattern. So there's one color, another color. I'm not sure yet how many colors I'm going to use. And then I plan to swipe it sideways with a chopstick, probably fairly close, maybe half an inch to 3/4 of an inch across. And then once I've done the sideways swipes, I'll do lengthways swipes, similar. That would be the way I would normally do a drop swirl and stop at that point. But this time I plan then to do diagonal swipes and then eventually come back the other way on top of that with more diagonal swipes. So we should make quite a complicated pattern. I'm using a mixture of Nature's Garden fresh cut grass fragrance oil and Brambleberry's grass stain fragrance oil, so it should smell like a newly mowed lawn. This is the recipe I'm using, calculated on soapcalc.com. It is vegan, using RSPO palm oil and coconut oil and olive oil. I've decided on my colors. I'm going to use a base batter that'll be white, using Winter White Mica from Nurture Soap. And then 3 shades of green. I'm going to use Green Vibrance Mica, which is a really bright green, Alpine Green, which is more the color of this chalkboard, kind of a darker, duller green. And then Hydrated Chrome Green Oxide, which is a very bluish green. That one is from Brambleberry. The other 2 are from Nurture Soap. I have my oils and my lye both a little above 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to stick blend this to emulsion. So I'll ladle some off into the colors, and then I'll put the white mica back into the main batter. The white is going to make up quite a bit more than half of the total batter. So this is my white mica slurried in a little bit of water. I have the fragrance oil already in the oils to start with. That batter is still rather yellow. I used extra virgin olive oil, so that's probably where that color is coming from. I'm hoping that'll fade more toward white, but even if it doesn't, I think this would be a pretty soap with a pale yellow background and then the green stripes. You're definitely going to need some stick blending as well. Splash a drop of green into my white batter. So this is an 18-bar Brambleberry mold with silicone liner. I'm going to pour all of the white batter into that. And I'll do a drop swirl of the 3 shades of green. First time around I go pretty deep by holding the container up pretty high. And I'll go shallower this time. Still not necessarily all the way to the top. I'll save just a little to float on the top at the end. This batter is thickening noticeably, but it's still very easily pourable, so I like that about it. I'll get really close and pour slowly to try to keep this last pour on or near the surface. It's actually working quite well. So that's the Alpine green. This is the hydrated chrome oxide, which is much more blue. I want to use this up, so I'm going back over the stripes I already made. And then finally the green vibrance, which is the brightest green. I want to leave some white here to go into the striping on the surface. That worked pretty well. So I'm going to use the narrow end of a chopstick to do the first swipes. I'm going to go crossways, probably at 3/4 inch intervals, maybe as little as 1/2 inch. both ways the same way. I'm going to use a thin wooden skewer to do the diagonal swipes. These are about ½ an inch apart. Got that one pretty wide. Back and do the same thing in the opposite direction. That's going to make a very fine-lined, complicated pattern, which is exactly what I wanted. This up just a little down here. Got some bigger areas of white that I'd rather have some striping through. Yeah, I like that. So I'll put in the mold dividers. And I'll put the lid on that and cure it overnight. Here's the newly poured soap closer up. I think that's quite attractive. This soap is a little over 24 hours old, and so I unmolded it just now. It's showing in the white part especially what looked like glycerin rivers, and that kind of surprises me in that I didn't use any titanium dioxide, which is what I usually think of as causing glycerin rivers. But I don't dislike the look. I think it's pretty anyway. So these are the top sides. I have planed a little bit of the roughness off of them. I like the combination of colors there. And then these are the sides that were next to the mold bar dividers. And then some ends, which were also near the next to the bar dividers. This is not against the mold wall. These were interior surfaces. So anyway, I think that turned out pretty well.